Lane Tech Girls Volleyball is on the air. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Alex Burstein above midcourt here at Lane Gymnasium as Lane Tech hosts their Senior Night 2022, honoring their 7 seniors. We're going to have a different speed of the broadcast here tonight. We're going to do a quick open here, then we'll turn it to the PA address announcer who will be doing the Senior Night ceremony in a couple of minutes. They just called the parents over, so I'm guessing in a minute or two they will have the ceremony, and then we will be back for our normal opening starting lineups and the conference matchup against Northside in a couple of minutes. We'll give you a quick introduction to this game while we wait for the ceremony to get underway. Lane Tech coming into tonight's matchup with a 14-13 record. It's been a rough week for the champions, losing 3-set matches on back-to-back nights. First, a 3-set loss to the Peyton Grizzlies on Tuesday, and then they fall in 3 sets to a Fenwick team that they thought they could beat last night in 3 sets. So it's been kind of an off week for Lane Tech. They've had some struggles for sure, and they're going to look to get back on track here this evening against the Northside Mustangs, a team that they beat this past weekend. And this is a team Lane Tech has had a lot of success with in the 16 recorded matches between these two squads. Lane Tech has won 12 of them. It's the most wins Lane Tech has against any team in the past 15 years or so. They've had a lot of success against this Northside squad, and they'll look to keep that going here tonight. It looks like they are exiting the court, and we'll have the ceremony in a second, so we're going to tune it to the PA announcer dresser, and we'll be back for gameplay in 10-15 minutes or so. And there you have it. Senior night ceremonies here at Lane Gymnasium have concluded. Lane Tech honoring their 7 seniors plus their senior managers here on this Thursday night from Lane Gymnasium. And now they'll look to honor their seniors once more with a win here against Northside on senior night. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Alex Burstein above midcourt here at Lane Gymnasium for what should be a fun one between Lane Tech and Northside. Apologies, we did not change our score bug from the JV game, so we'll get that back to normal right now. But as we were mentioning, it should be a fun one. Lane Tech has had a lot of success against this Northside squad this weekend. They took on Northside. They got their best win of the season, 25-9, 25-6 in straight sets over the Mustangs. So we'll see if Lane Tech can do that again here tonight. Captains are meeting at midcourt right now. It might be an extra long warm-up. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Looks like they're going to have 2 minutes for each team, 2 minutes to warm up, and then 6 minutes for each team to warm up. So we'll have a slightly longer pregame show here on this Thursday night from Lane Gymnasium. It's been a busy week for Lane Tech, as we mentioned in the opening. They had a heartbreaking loss to Payton on Tuesday night, and they followed that up with another heartbreaking loss to Fenwick last night. 3-set losses in both of those, so we'll see if Lane Tech can get back on track here tonight as we will send it down to the court, and it looks like they are bypassing those 2 minutes of both teams practicing. It's going to be 6 minutes for both of these squads, and then we will see actual action. An injury note for Lane Tech heading into tonight's matchup of note for anyone watching here. Lane Tech's going to be without their leader in kills per set, second in kills, Claire Anderson. She's been one of the top players on this team all year long. Lane Tech is going to be without her on this senior night. Came out of last night's game with an injury. She had been in and out of injury earlier in the season, and tonight she will not be suiting up, so we will not see Anderson on the court, but all 6 of the other seniors for Lane Tech should be good to go for tonight's matchup. It's not an all-senior starting lineup for Lane Tech, but going off of head coach Norman Kwong's notes, it looks like all 6 will be in the game at least through the start. We've been talking about those 7 seniors, and you probably heard them in the ceremony, but we'll just read through them here quickly before the action starts here at Lane Gymnasium. It's going to be number 2, Maddie Gavelden, number 4, Heidi Stauber, number 5, Claire Anderson, number 12, Brooke Anderson, number 19, Addison Stoner, number 22, Olivia Crane, and number 25, Amina Ahmad, playing as seniors here tonight for Lane Tech. It's not the last home game of the season for Lane Tech. They will have a non-conference matchup with Resurrection next Monday, and then depending on how the city playoffs play out, Lane Tech could have at least, I think, 2 or 3 more games before the semifinals go on the road. So definitely a chance that Lane Tech plays some more games here at home, but this is the one they are going to officially honor the seniors with. We do have the starting lineup for Lane Tech, so we'll get you through that right now. In the front row for Lane, going from left to right, it's going to be number 25, Amina Ahmad. In the middle, it'll be Kinsey Copenhaver, who's been very impressive. Second on the team in blocks. She's been excellent presence in that front row for Lane Tech as of recent. And to her right, it'll be Olivia Sprinkle, who gets the start tonight in replacement of the injured Claire Anderson. But Sprinkle definitely has a lot of skill. We have seen her this season go in and out of the starting lineup, and last night we saw her play as early as the second set. So tonight she will get the start as a outside hitter for the champions. And then in the back row for Lane Tech, going from left to right, it'll be number 22, Olivia Crane, number 12, Brooke Anderson in the middle, and then to her right will be number 12, Catherine Hong, who has been the leading server for Lane Tech all season long, and she'll look to have another really good night tonight. They're playing against a Northside team that has struggled their way through this season. They come into tonight's matchup with a 6-10 record. It might be 7-10. It might be 6-11. They did not add one of their games on Max Preps, one of the conference games they played in, so we don't know which that is. But either way, they're below 500 on the year. It's been a rough year for the Mustangs, and it's going to be a little even harder for them tonight. They are without 3 of their best players who did not travel with the team tonight. All 3 of their captains are still playing here tonight, though, so we will see those 3. Number 1, Sophia Ruiz, number 6, Faith Majura, and number 14, Rosie Palacios are the 3 captains, and they will look to make a big impact against this Lane Tech team here tonight. We have not seen really any success from this Northside team against Lane Tech since 2016. That was when the Mustangs scored 2 straight victories against Lane. First, a 2-1 victory at the Northside College Prep Tournament on September 24th, 2016. And 2 days prior, they beat Lane Tech 2-0, and that game was at Northside on September 22nd. So it's been about 6 years now since we've seen any sets won by Northside against this Lane Tech squad, and they'll be looking to change that here tonight as we reach kind of the end point of this regular season, and then both of these teams will look to make big runs in the city playoffs. Obviously, both of them play in the Chicago Public Super, so they should have decent seeding heading into the state city playoffs, at least a top 10 seed. Lane Tech right now is eyeing the 4 seed, and I was playing through these scenarios in my head earlier. I think as long as they win tonight they basically lock up the 4 seed unless something weird happens with Lindblom, and they're missing one result. So if Lindblom wins 2 and then Lane Tech loses one of these next 2, Lindblom might jump them in the standings. But if Lane Tech wins tonight and they're able to take care of Lindblom next week, all signs are pointing up for Lane Tech to be the 4 seed, a spot lower than we expected them to be in entering this week, but the loss to Payton drops them a spot. Northside, meanwhile, fighting at the bottom right now. They're 2-4 in conference play with 1 mystery result and 1 more conference game to go. They are facing off against Lane Tech here tonight, and then they'll have a winnable game on Monday against Kennedy. It's a home game at 5 p.m., but Kennedy, they've struggled 0-7 in conference play, so Lane Tech is going to be hoping that they can, Northside's going to be hoping that they can win one of these last 2, at least one of these last 2, I should say, and sneak into maybe a top 6 seed in the city for city playoffs. Lane Tech, obviously, as we talk about city playoffs, hoping to get some revenge. They fell to Jones in the semifinals last year, and then they fell in the regular season to the Eagles this year. So they've had some struggles against the top-tier public league teams as of recent, Whitney Young and Jones. So we'll see if they can have an upset in the city playoffs, which are set to start not next week, but the week after that for both of these teams, as Lane Tech is going to come off the court, and we will see Northside warming up here in a second. Just 2 games left on the schedule after today for Northside. They'll take on Niles West on the road on Sunday, I believe it's listed as. I'm guessing that might be an it's going to be Niles West on Monday, then they'll take on Kennedy on Tuesday. So 2 games early next week before the city playoffs are set to start a week from Tuesday, with the first round set to get going on October 11th. 2 days later, October 13th, will be the second round, and then October 17th will be when the quarterfinals start, and the action really starts to heat up here in the public league. So that's how the rest of the schedule looks like for this Northside squad. And then obviously the city playoffs a little ways away, but both of these squads will be looking to maybe make a dent in the in the state playoffs. Neither of these teams will enter as a favorite. Seeding probably won't be the best for either of them, but we'll see. Always can be some upsets in the state playoffs here in IHSA play. This Northside team has had some struggles last year, despite playing with a very similar roster to what they had last year. And last year was one of their more successful seasons in recent history. They went 15-17, so they were below 500, but they went 9-0 in conference play. They had wins against Lincoln Park, Chicago Academy, Senn, Lakeview, Schurz, Rickover, North Grand, Ogden, and Mather. So they had 9 conference wins, and in that time, 18 sets won, 0 sets lost. So they were perfect in conference play last year. They only graduated, I believe, 3 players from that team. There was only 3 seniors listed on the roster last year. At least 13 players were under juniors or sophomores or freshmen on this Northside squad. So hypothetically, this Northside team should have been a little more competitive. However, they did move up a conference, and that's when things get difficult for this team. They've also been battling with injuries all year long, including in tonight's game, as we mentioned, missing 3 of their top players in tonight's matchup. So that's obviously something that has been hindering them as they take their warm-ups on the court right now, with just over 3.5 minutes to go. We did not get the starters for Northside. We'll have to see those in a couple of minutes when both the teams come out on the court. However, head coach Nicole Flores did say that at least that the players who are missing, Alyssa Angel Nine Gamino and Abiole Hefziba, apologies for that last name. I did not ask for the pronunciations of the players who weren't here, but those 3, she said she was missing almost half her roster there, with them out for tonight's contest. So that is definitely going to be a missed opportunity for Northside here on this Thursday night from Lane Gymnasium, and they'll see if they are able to somehow pull off a miracle upset against Lane Tech. We mentioned earlier, Lane Tech was favored in their 2 matches this week against Payton, a team they had beat this weekend, and then against a Fenwick team that has just had some struggles this year, but Fenwick was able to exploit Lane Tech's weaknesses, as was Peyton. Peyton made some really good adjustments to get this Lane Tech team on the brink of loss and then closing it out in the third set. And then last night, just a lot of errors from Lane Tech. Lane was not able to adjust very well. They were not able to close it out in set number 3 after dropping the first set and winning the second one, and that ended up being a 3-set loss for Lane Tech. The final score in that one, it was a first set victory 25-21 for Fenwick. The second set, Lane Tech came back and won it 25-22, but then the biggest win of the night was a 9-point set win for Fenwick in set number 3, 25-16. So the Friars just really started taking advantage there in set number 3 of play, and they closed it out with a victory at Lane Gymnasium. Fenwick has had a lot of success against Lane Tech as of recent, unlike this Northside team, so we'll see how that changes things here tonight. 90 seconds to go until we should have first serve here at Lane Gymnasium. We'll take you through the serving order for Lane Tech here tonight. It's not much different than what we have seen per usual from Lane, but we'll just go through it anyways. It'll be Catherine Hong leading off. I believe she has done that every single game for Lane Tech this season. Had somewhat of a quiet night last night, serving-wise, 2 aces, but she had some service errors, and Fenwick just did a really good job of scoring points off of her first or second serves to not allow her to have too many long service rotations. So we'll see if Hong can rebound from that tonight. I believe it's going to be Olivia Sprinkle in the 2 spot here tonight, as Claire Anderson was in the 2 spot last night for serving, and Sprinkles will be Anderson's replacement in the starting lineup here tonight. Kinsey Copenhaver gets the 3 spot here serving-wise for Lane Tech. She is the junior middle hitter / outside hitter. She's actually second on the team in aces. She's had a couple of nice runs at home as of recent. Last night she had a decent performance serving-wise. She has 27 aces on the season, 13 out of the lead for Hong, but she's been very impressive, and she'll be the number 3 server tonight for Lane Tech. Addison Stoner in the 4th spot for Lane. It'll be number 8, Sarah Thompson in the 5 spot, and then closing out the service rotation for Lane Tech will be the libero, number 4, Heidi Stauber. So among the starters and the service rotation, all of the seniors who will be playing tonight will be getting playing time. So we will see a lot of senior action here for Lane Tech on this senior night, as both the teams head to their benches. Not sure if we're going to have the national anthem or not. I assume we are going to have the starting lineups here from Lane Gymnasium, and then we will have playing action between these 2 squads. Lane Tech obviously hoping they can make quick work of this Northside team that they have historically played very good against. They had the win on Saturday, as I mentioned, a 2-set win over the Mustangs, and then the last home game Lane Tech had against Northside came back in 2019 on September 26th. It was a 25-10, 25-11 win over the Mustangs. So as of recent, it has been all Lane Tech in this series, and they're looking to keep that going here tonight, as it looks like we may not actually have starting lineups or the national anthem here from Lane Gymnasium. So I think we're going to be able to get going here almost immediately as the players run towards the JV squads for their respective teams, and then we should be good to go. So we will see who the starting 6 are here for Northside. Looks like in the front row, going from right to left, it's going to be number 7, Mary Savitsky. In the middle, it'll be number 16, Michelle Morales. And I'm trying to catch who this is. Someone tying their shoe right now in the front row for Northside. We'll get you that in a second. And then in the back row, it'll be from right to left, it'll be number 14, Rosie Felicios, one of the captains on this squad. Number 6, Faith Majira, who is another captain, and then Jessica Bell, who checks out the game immediately for the libero for this Northside squad, who is wearing number 8. That's going to be Georgia Foster. We'll see if Heidi Stauber checks into the game for Lane Tech. It looks like she is, so it is going to be Stauber for Brooke Anderson in the first substitution of the night for Lane Tech. I did not see who won the captain's hand toss, and it looks like it was Lane Tech, and I think we do have a little bit of a change here in serving order. Lane Tech's going to go with the senior Addison Stoner to serve first here tonight, and we are underway from Lane Gymnasium. First serve misplayed off the arms of Foster, and Lane Tech will take an early 1-0 lead in this one. Lane Tech played best last night when they were able to establish early leads, and that's what they're able to do here quickly against Northside as they get off to a 1-0 start. Stoner again from the back row, but this one flies a little too far, and the Mustangs will knot it up at 1 here early from Lane Gymnasium. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Lane Gymnasium for some Thursday night conference action. Foster, the first server here tonight for the Mustangs from the far side. Sprinkle with a nice kill attempt. She gets the first kill of the night for Lane. Well, with kind of a soft cross-court hit there. Is able to find the ground. And now we'll see Maddie Gavaldon back to serve for Lane Tech. So the serve order that we had earlier changed a little bit here for senior night. Lane Tech with some really powerful serves here early on. Crane from the left pin is somehow able to get it over, and Lane Tech will take the early 3-1 lead. It's bouncing off players from both sides of the court, it looked like, before finally finding the ground for the victory as Gavaldon's second serve goes straight into the net. And Northside staying in this one early, mainly because of some errors here from Lane Tech. They've yet to score a point on their own, but they're in it, and that's all that matters, as Claire Shank will go back to score. He's one of the best golfers in the city as a freshman back in 2020, finished 8th in the city. Now Shank, one of the players on this Northside volleyball squad, as the bump attempt from Peyton Foxe can't get over, and Lane Tech will go back up by 2. Lane Tech yet to go up by 3 here tonight. We'll see if they can do that here. It'll be Kinsey Copenhaver back to serve, the first junior who has served for Lane Tech here tonight. Sends this one to the back row, and Copenhaver there to keep it alive. Ahmad goes cross court, and Lane Tech having lots of success here with their kills early on. This is not something that we saw from Lane last night as much. They were struggling with their kills in a couple of times, but so far they've had at least 2 cross-court kills like that, one from Sprinkle and one from Ahmad, to give Lane an early 5-2 lead. Bell from the front row, unable to find the ground. They'll set up Crane here, who goes with the soft touch, but a nice save here for the Mustangs. No one there in the front row, though, to keep it alive. It's a nice dig there by number 1, Sophia Ruiz, who gets her first touch of the night, but Northside unable to do anything with it, and it will be a 6-2 lead here for Lane Tech, who are starting to pull away here in the first set. Side gets it over with a bump. Stoner with her first set of the night. A nice save there from Shank. Once again, Anderson, a little too far on the outside. We've seen Brooke Anderson with a lot of kills recently, but they've almost exclusively been from the middle. She plays that one from the outside, but goes a little too far as Northside gets back within 3 here in set number 1. Serve there from Ruiz. Crane again with her first kill attempt, and she finds the ground. Team's leader in kills, and the senior gets her first point of the night, and Lane Tech goes up by 4. And now we'll see Amina Ahmad back to serve. Haven't seen that much serving out of her this year, but they'll give the senior a chance on senior night, and she sends this one perfectly to the back row. Going cross court, and that one just finds the inside. Nice shot there by Foxe. Lane Tech was standing there. They thought it was going to travel a little too far inside from our point of view, but it ends up hitting the back left corner, and Northside stays alive in this one. Sarah Thompson checks into the game for Ahmad. It'll be Jessica Bell back to serve here for for the Mustangs. Thompson on the reception. And Crane will have to bump it over. Lane Tech with some trouble there with the 3 touches. They send this one far, though, off the hands of number 14, Rosie Palacios, and Lane Sack back up by 4 here. Lane Sack subbing a lot quicker than usual here on this Thursday night as Olivia Sprinkle checks into the game for Maddie Gavelin. We'll see if that's a trend that continues throughout the night as Crane sends this one powerfully off the arms of Foster. Lane Sack's had a lot of success this season targeting liberos with their serves, but for whatever reason, it seems like most of the teams that Lane Sack plays, Lane has just, the liberos have just had trouble receiving these serves, as we see almost another receiving error there by Foster. Stoner with the back set. Anderson with the same play she messed up on a couple minutes ago. This time she's able to find the ground, and Lane goes up by 6, their biggest here tonight. A 10-4 lead for the champions. They're experimenting with Anderson from the side here as Crame's first serve goes under the net, and Northside will get back their service pretty quickly here. A couple of subs into the game for the Mustangs in the form of number 16, Michelle Morales, and number 6, Faith Majera, who will be the server here. Soft serve on the reception there is Stauber. Anderson again tried for her second kill of the night. She can't get it. Anderson's had 9 kills in back-to-back nights for Lane Sack. As Stauber with the far bump, but received there by Ruiz, and they're going to give the point to Lane Sack. We'll call a double on one of these Northside players, and either way, Lane Sack will go back up by 6 here. Nice crowd on hand here for some senior night volleyball. Stauber with her first serve of the night is received by the libero. Trying to go cross court, and a nice shot there by Morales. Northside's obviously not going to have the power advantage. I think they came into tonight's game realizing that, but they've been able to switch things up and find other ways to score early to make this at least not a blowout early on. 11-6, the early score. Sprinkle goes cross court. She did it from the right side. Now she'll do it from the left side. And this lead just hovering back and forth between 5 and 6 here for Lane Sack as Ahmad checks into the game for Thompson. Lane Sack on their second service rotation of the day as Stoner sets up Copenhaver with a monster kill there. Stoner with some nice setups early, and the front row line of both Copenhaver and Anderson, Brooke Anderson, have been very strong here for Lane Sack. 3 kills combined between the two of them. As Lane now looks to go up by 8 for the first time here today. Stoner with the set. Sprinkle unable to close it there. Nice play there by Morales to keep the point alive for the Mustangs. She'll set this one up with a miscommunication running over there, but a little too slow on it is Faith Majera. And either way, Lane Sack will go up by 8 here. In their Saturday match against this Northside team, Lane Sack gave up, trying to get the score here really quickly as Stoner gets the set to Ahmad, and a nice blocking attempt there in the front row, but awkward angle, and the point goes to Lane Sack. As we were mentioning, in the matchup on Saturday between these two squads, Lane gave up 9 points in the first set to Northside before only giving up 6 points in the second set, as Stoner sends her second serve of the night far. She's had a couple of nice serves, but that one will drift a little too far off her hand, and Northside will get to 7 points. So if you're Northside at least here tonight, you're trying to get at least 2 double digits once against this Lane Sack team. As Stoner's going to set up Ahmad from the far side. Can't finish the kill. Mustangs have been guarding the kill better here in the last couple of minutes. Lucky shot, and Ahmad unable to hit it over. I believe that was Ruiz who had the last hit on it, and so lucky shot there gets the Mustangs within 7 here in the first set, 15-8. Foster on the serve. Ahmad once again fires in the spike to get Lane Sack back up by 8. She could not finish it the last time, but she gets the big spike here for Lane Tech's 16th point of the day. We'll see Maddie Gavilan back to serve for the second time here tonight. Goes with the soft serve there. Front line block attempt there from Ahmad and Copenhaver. They'll give it to Crane on the other side, and this time she'll get her tip to work. So this is what you'd like to see if you're the Lane Tech coaching staff, something Lane has not been able to do as of recent, as a timeout's going to be called by Lane Tech. They've had some troubles with a couple of shots, but Lane Tech has not given up on them. We saw with that outside play to Brooke Anderson. We saw with that tip to Crane. There's been a couple other where they have not gotten the point the first time. They go back to the same exact play a couple of points later, and then it works. So Lane Tech has been making the adjustments they need here, and that's led them to an early 17-8 lead here over the Northside Mustangs on this Thursday night, senior night from Lane Tech. We have seen all 6 of these seniors who will be playing tonight take the court here for Lane Gymnasium so far, and out of the huddle there will still be 5 of those seniors on the court. Everyone but Brooke Anderson at the moment. Kinsey Copenhaver, the only senior on the court right now. We've seen Copenhaver and Sprinkle, both juniors, get some playing time. If Lane Tech's able to open this one up, I imagine we will see some other juniors get some playing time in this one. Serve from Gavilan, received by Ruiz. Ruiz will punch this one over, but a nice dig there by the team's leader in dig, Stauber. Just gets it over, and some jousting at the net, and they'll give the point to Northside. So a very nice play there from Ruiz, just a very nice point as a whole. She gets it across the net a couple of times, and she ends up at the net for that final point. Finds the ground on Lane Tech's side of the court, and the Mustangs now just 1 point away from getting to double digits for the first time this year against Lane Tech. Stoner from the front of the net. Copenhaver with her second kill of the night. So powerful in that front line, and she gets Lane Tech up by 9 here, as Lane looks to go up by double digits for the first time tonight. An excellent play there by Copenhaver, as she'll go back to serve now. Misplayed off the hands there of Foster. Nice adjustment there by Foxe, who came all the way into foul territory, as Ahmad finishes with the kill, and Lane Tech just having a lot of fun here from the front row. They're finishing all their points, and Lane Tech will go up by 10 here, 19-9. Northside still knocking on the door of getting to double digits here against the champions. A soft line drive serve there that was dipping at the end, and misplayed there off the arms of number 9, Claire Shank. A little bit of a miscommunication between the 3 Northside players in that area, and it will let Lane Tech go up by 11. Copenhaver again serves the exact same way. An awkwardly played ball off the arms of Palacios ends up going too far off the kill attempt from Shank, and Lane Tech gets lucky there to go up 21-9. They try to close out this first set against the Mustangs. 21-9 the score here. Kill attempt played off the arms of Stoner. An excellent shot there from number 1, Sophia Ruiz. She's been by far the most impressive player on Northside's side of the court here tonight. She's been doing a little bit of everything for the Mustangs. A little bit of blocking, some setting, and some point scoring, as we saw there. And now she'll go back to set, sends this one up the middle. Gavilan on the reception. Ahmad trying for another kill. She gets it. Northside's been timing their jumps well, but the problem is they've just been deflected the wrong direction here today. Their arms have been pointing more outwards, and the way these Lane Tech hits have been coming in, almost all the shots have been going outside, as we'll see Ahmad serve this one a little far. All 6 seniors for Lane Tech playing tonight on the court right now. Ahmad, Stauber, Gavilan, Crane, Stoner, and Brooke Anderson. As Jessica Bell will serve from the left side here for the Mustangs. Crane from the left pin. Soft tip. That one a little harder than the last one she had, but either way they'll go for a point. Just gets under the arms of a diving Mustang, and now Crane will serve from the left side for the champions. 2 points away from a first set win for Lane Sack. Kill attempt, and unable to finish the block in the front row there was Anderson and Stoner. We'll see one of the first runs of the night here for Northside with 2 straight points for them. They'll send Faith Majira back to serve. Ahmad gets it. Anderson to the back left corner, and too easy there for Lane Tech. Just no one guarding that area of the court for Northside. And Lane Tech will double Northside's score here near the end of set number 1. Kinsey Copenhaver will check into the game for Brooke Anderson. And now we'll see Heidi Stauber back to serve. She's had some good serving games here at Lane Gymnasium. We'll see if she can close out this first set with a point. Ruiz punches it over. Stoner with the set. Far pin. Sprinkle gets the final point of the first set. And Lane Tech, just in dominant fashion, goes up by 13. Takes set number 1, 25-12. They're trying to get back in track after 2 rough nights the last 2 games, and they go up 25-12 here in set number 1. We'll take a quick break before set number 2 action in about 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Lane Tech Girls Volleyball here on the Lane Tech Athletics YouTube channel. Back here at Lane Gymnasium, a 25-12 first set win for Lane Tech. They'll look to keep it going here in set number 2 against this Northside squad here on Senior Night 2022. It's been good contributions from all the seniors playing here for Lane Tech tonight at Lane Gymnasium as they try to have a win on their senior night. As we mentioned earlier, this will not be their final game at Lane Gymnasium. They have at least one more next Monday against Resurrection, but one of the final games at Lane Gymnasium for these seniors who have had definitely a weird 4 years of volleyball. They had a normal freshman season, and then sophomore year got weird with COVID. I believe junior season was regular, but at least one of their 4 seasons just got completely messed up because of the pandemic. So now they have a normal senior year here at least, as they're going to send Rocky Ortiz in, it looks like, to start off this second set. She gets her first playing time of the night. She's played in a couple of games for Lane Tech this season. We did not see her play last night at all, but they will send the junior in with about 45 seconds to go in this first set intermission. Northside talking things over in their huddle. Head coach Nicole Flores and assistant coach Samantha Zalewski, the 2 coaches on the bench tonight for the Mustangs. Just trying to figure out a way they can contend with this Lane Tech team in set number 2 of play. Thanks for joining us. Alex Burstein on the call here from Lane Gymnasium. A nice atmosphere here at Lane Gymnasium for some senior night action. We saw the ceremony take place before the game. That was live on this same stream, so if you missed that, you can go back to about the 2 or 3 minute mark to see all the player introductions. And now they will sound the buzzer to end this intermission, and we'll be ready for some action here in set number 2. So it'll be Rocky Ortiz, we mentioned, looks like in starting, and we also might see 2 other juniors in the form of number 44 Josie Bietti and number 7 Maggie O'Brien come in later in this set if Lane Tech is able to keep a lead in this one. In the front row to start off this second set of play will be Brooke Anderson, Ortiz, and Stoner, though it looks like Stauber might be checking in a second. And then in the back row, it'll be Ahmad, Crane, and Copenhaver. And we're going to see Stauber come in for Copenhaver, who takes a seat on the bench to start off this set number 2. Lane Tech serve to start this one off, so it will be Mustangs ball to start off set number 2. And back to serve, it'll be their leadoff server, number 14, Rosie Palacios, one of the captains on this Northside squad. Takes the first serve and just gets it over the net. Stauber with the reception. Ortiz with her first hit of the night, and a nice block in the front row by the Mustangs. Crane now digging it out. A nice play there by Palacios, and Northside able to win the first point of the set. Ruiz gets over the net with the spike, and Northside takes a 1-0 lead here in set number 2. Lane Tech was able to build a big lead there in the first set early, and that was big to their success. So if Northside can break that up early, that's going to be key for them. As Ahmad's shot hit one of the basketball hoops on the ceiling. They're going to keep on playing it, though. Ruiz again sends us to the back row. Ahmad tries to keep it alive. He can. Stauber dove for it, didn't get contact, so she was out of the picture for the dig. And Lane Tech will finish off the point, their first point here of set number 2. A 1-1 tie here between Lane Tech and Northside. Now we'll see Addison Stoner back to serve for the third time tonight, first time this second set. And this is going to be an ace. Stoner, who's second in the team in assists, has also been a pretty good server here tonight. And I didn't even realize this, but it looks like Catherine Hong might not be playing tonight for Lane Tech. Not sure why that is, but she was not on the sheet I was given earlier. As Anderson just puts this one over, then gets a block at the front net. And now Northside will try to keep this alive. Palacios sends it to the back row. Now from the near side, Ahmad with the block in the front row by number 7, Mary Savitsky, who gets one of her first touches of the night. And Northside keeping this one close early on. Bell will check into the game for Savitsky after that nice play from the Mustangs player. And we'll see the libero Foster serving here. Back and forth play there from the Mustangs. Stoner with the front set. Ahmad came up the middle, something we don't usually see her do, but unable to finish there. Now Stoner will get to Crane. Crane with a two-hand push. And Northside able to keep it alive, and they will give the point here to Lane Tech. We will see what the call is. They're going to call it a double. And checking into the game will be Maddie Gavaldon, who is the first sub of this second set for Lane Tech. She comes in for Ortiz. And first serve is a really good serve. It goes off the neck, it looked like there, of Palacio. She looks like she's okay, but a very powerful serve there from Gavaldon on her first serve of this second set. And gives Lane their first multi-point lead here in set number 2. Her second serve, though, a little too short. And the Mustangs get back within 1. Checking into the game for Northside, it's going to be Shank and Foxe. Shank will go back to serve. Had some nice plays here early on for the Mustangs. We'll see what she can do with her first appearance of set number 2. Anderson from the front row. I believe that's kill number 3 of the night for her. She comes right out of the game for Copenhaver. An excellent shot there from Brooke Anderson to put Lane Tech back in front by 2. That play, it seems like no matter who Lane Tech is playing, how strong of a team it is, it just works perfectly. And they'll give the point to Lane Tech there. Nice effort from Northside there. A couple of players running towards the net. One of them actually ran into the net, but it will give the point to Lane Tech as Stauber back to serve here once again. A nice serve there, somehow played by Palacios. Looked like that was going to go for an ace, but the return from the Mustangs unable to stay in bounds, and Lane goes up by 4 here. First set win was 25-12 for Lane Tech. As Stauber's serves a little too far on the inside here. Lane hasn't been able to establish any lead bigger than 4 here in set number 2, so they haven't been able to fully pull away from this one just yet. See if they can do this in the latter stages. Ruiz, who has been the best server here tonight for the Mustangs, gets her first shot in, and Crane with an excellent shot to the back row. Looks like that one might have landed right on the line. All 12 players on the court looked up to the head referee here for the call, but he gives it to Lane Sack. Shots like those where they're near the middle and at the back line, really neither referee has a great view of it. I guess you could say the near side referee probably had a slightly better vision of it, as almost an ace there from Ahmad, but Northside able to play it. Stoner with the front set. Crane just punches it over. Found an open space there, but a last-minute save by Palacios. This one misjudged there by Ahmad. Landed right on the line, and they will give the point to Lane Tack. That one was very easily to see here from the near-line judge. And a 3-point lead here for Lane Sack. Crane from the far side, and that's the one shot Lane has had a lot of success with here tonight. Going from the near side when there's 2 blockers for the Mustangs. If they can just get the ball high enough, it seems like Northside's had a lot of trouble here finishing any blocks. I'm not sure if they have any blocks on the night just yet. As weird play there from Foster on the reception, and this one just misses outside. Northside fans not happy with that call, but either way, Lane Tech is going to get, we had at point number 10 on the night, so they reached the, on the set, so they reached the double-digit mark. Ruiz with a nice shot there from very far back. Stauber there to dig it out, though. 10-5, Lane Tech with the lead. Ahmad keeps it alive. Copenhaver, and now they'll force Stauber to bump it over. Back and forth play here between the champions and the Mustangs, and almost finishing with the point there was Ortiz. They say it's a little too far outside though, and the Mustangs will break up that momentum here for Lane Sack. And they will send number 6, Faith Majiro, one of the captains on this team, back to serve. We did not have any years on the roster, as Crane a little too hard on this kill, and Lane Sack with just some hitting errors here in the second set to keep the Mustangs in this one. As we mentioned, in their match against Northside on Saturday, the Northside did not get to double-digit points once. They already scored 12 here in the first set, and a nice tip there from number 14, Rosie Palacios, has this at a 2-point set. 10-8 the lead for Lane Sack. Soon Lane might call a timeout somewhat soon. They're having some trouble here against Northside, who's just playing very fundamental volleyball here, but they're not making any mistakes. Lane Tech has, and that's how they have cut this to a 2-point deficit here for the Mustangs. Copenhaver with a block in the front row. She had 2 blocks there and as many shots. And Lane finally gets their service back as Brooke Anderson checks into the game for Heidi Stauber. And we will see Copenhaver serve here. So it was interesting. Lane Tech decided not to call any timeouts during that run, and they're able to break it out without any timeouts. As this set from Ruiz goes into the into the Northside bench. So Morales, who was there, was unable to get a good, get even a touch on it. As Lane will go back up by 4, looking to get their lead to 5. Ruiz, the back set, gets it over. Stoner to Anderson. Anderson, one of her softer kill attempts of the night, but they were expecting something more powerful from her. It works perfectly. She sees an open middle, and Lane goes back up by 5. Copenhaver has been very productive serving here tonight for Lane Sack. Some of the best rotations for Lane have come with her serving here for the champions. She serves directly to Foster, and this one is going to just go outside. Looked like from our angle hit inside the field of play, but both the referees will say Lane Tech's point, And Lane Sack will move within 11 points of a two-set sweep here of Northside. Crane up the middle. A nice dig out there by Ruiz, who's been playing in the back row here the last couple of points. Ortiz from the front, and she gets her first kill of the night. Faith Majoria there had her hands, her palms facing towards the net, so the ball just went almost straight down. And Ortiz, the junior, gets her first points here of the conference matchup. As Ruiz again, this one goes through the hands of Ortiz. And Northside finally able to break up this Lane Sack run. It was 2 points when Lane Sack scored their first points of that little run, and they will come out of the run with a 15-9 6-point lead here, so makes it a little bit harder. And I think they're going to call out of rotation there. They will for Lane Sack. So Lane was doing some substituting. They get called for, or they just work a little too fast there, and they get called for the out of rotation. 15-10 the lead now. Mustangs get to double-digit points, and the second serve from Palacios travels a little too far, and Lane will get their serve back for their leading server tonight, number 19, Addison Stoner. Low serve there, just gets over the tape. And the attempt there in the front row from Ruiz sends straight to the net. And Lane will go back up by 7. Stoner's been one of the top setters this year for Lane Sack. Number 2 in the team in assists, and her serve here will go for an ace. Too powerful off the arms there of Rosie Palacios. And we're going to see a timeout here called by Northside, I believe. So a quick 1-minute break here from Lane Gymnasium, 18-10, the lead for the champions. So looked like for a second there at the 10-8 mark that Northside might be competitive in this one, but after a couple of nice plays here from the champions, a very nice service rotation from the junior Kinsey Copenhaver, it will end up now being an 8-point lead for Lane Sack, who are looking to close out this win for their 7 seniors. The seniors were part of a team last year that went 8-1 in conference play, 20-14 overall. Now this season, they've been the backbone of a team that's fighting to stay above 500 and are hoping for a couple of postseason upsets to keep this season going. It'll still be Stoner serving out of the timeouts. Lane seeing if they can hold the Mustangs under 12, the mark they held them to in set number 1. Ruiz goes with the hard kill, goes too far. Nice read there by Olivia Crane to decide to keep it sailing and heading out of bounds. And Lane will go up by 9 here. They've yet to lead by double digits in this set. They did lead by double digits in the first set. Awkward reception there from Palacios, but a nice play by Savitsky to keep it alive. Anderson to the back row, and it just hits the line. A close play there, and it probably, in review, if there were a review, might have been overturned, but it hits the back of the line, the referees say, and Lane will go up, doubling the Mustang score here, 20-10. Stoner again, trying for the ace, and she gets it. It was a last-minute decision there from the libero, Georgia Foster, whether to play it or not. She decides at the last minute to dive at it, goes off her arms, and Lane now within 4 of a 2-set sweep here of Northside on senior night. Stoner again, and another ace, this time off the arms of Palacios. And Stoner just exploiting this back left part of the court right now for Northside, who are having a lot of trouble with her serves. Serves to the same place, this time Foster with a clean reception. Ruiz from the front row, dug out there by Stauber. Stoner gives it to Crane. Crane up the middle, but nice read there by Palacios, who ducks out of the way and gets Northside their 11th point of the night, 22-11 here from Lane Gymnasium. Ortiz back in the game. Anderson to Ahmad, nice block there in the front row by Bell and Morales. Lane unable to finish with another kill attempt, and now we'll have a block like we've seen all season long from Brooke Anderson. Accompanying her for the block was Amina Ahmad, and Lane now within 2 points of the win, 23-11, and we'll see if Maddie Gavaldon can close it out. Her second service rotation of this set number 2, and I think that's going to be 4 touches. It will be, so Lane doesn't even have to respond there on the first of their 2 points, and now they'll have match point. They'll have about 14 match points to try to close this one out. Gavaldon again from the back row. Ruiz, a softer kill attempt, can't get that one. Stoner to Anderson. Anderson unable to finish, just went with the tip there. Stauber with a diving save here. Stoner to Crane, and gets the kill. Palacios unable to finish it out, and with 6 seniors on the court, Lane Tech closes out a 25-11 set number 2 and a 2-0 win here on Senior Night 2022. Very impressive play here for Lane Tech. They win 25-12, 25-11, and a very nice rebound after their 2 3-set losses earlier in this week. Excellent play from all 6 of the Lane Tech seniors who played tonight, that being Maddie Gavaldon, Heidi Stauber, Brooke Anderson, Addison Stoner, Olivia Crane, and Amina Ahmad. And obviously Claire Anderson not playing tonight, but she has been so impressive as a senior for Lane Tech all season. Lane will be back in action on Monday at home again, their 3rd straight home game, as they take on Resurrection. That is set for a 6 p.m. first serve here from Lane Gymnasium, and then they'll close out the regular season on Tuesday against Lindblom on the road. Next up for the Mustangs will be a non-conference matchup on Monday. They're traveling to Niles West for a 6 p.m. first serve. That's just about all the time we have here tonight. A very impressive showing from Lane Tech on their senior night. They close out this one with a win over Northside. Your final score from Lane Gymnasium: Lane Tech 2, Northside 0. My name's Alex Burstein. Good night.